All right, final segment with Clint Kelly this morning, malpractice attorney here in town. And Clint, just to get your take then right now, the lawsuit's been filed. It's the first one, but I suspect you have other clients as well. Where do we go from here with this case? And are you going to be filing some more? And are there any involving any other facilities?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is the first in a series of cases that'll be filed. The reason we filed this one first is twofold. Ms. Summers was the first to die. But secondly, there are some staffing agencies that provided nurses to the facility. Newsflash, this facility does not have all of its own employees. They pay companies to staff their facility with nurses. Now, to my knowledge at this point, none of the nurses did anything negligent. This all came from management, but that could change. And so what we're doing is filing this lawsuit first to get some documents from the facility because we'll have subpoena power. And then I'll also be able to take depositions. And once I learn some additional information, we'll use that in the subsequent lawsuits that are filed in Sumner County Circuit Court.
Interesting. And I think for a lot of our viewers, it's fascinating, the legal process on this. And you talk about getting some of those documents, power of subpoena, discovery as it goes about. You've already, though, I imagine, since we've reported, and you and I did, that this was going to be coming down the pike. I'm sure, have you had a lot of unsolicited calls based on seeing these news stories calling with information? And yeah, you've been doing a lot of your own research to this point, right?
Yes, and I have had tons of phone calls. You know what gets calls from the most? They're from nurses and caregivers at other nursing homes.
Huh.
People who have observed misconduct in their own nursing home, or just those who are writing me saying, Clint, I saw the news story and my heart bleeds for these people because there were so many things that could have been done to prevent this outbreak. I've got a whole host of people, and some willing to testify in the Gallatin case if they're needed. I want you to know, and I want the public to know who sees this, the vast majority of the people that work at these nursing homes work their tails off. They care about the residents. They do the best that they can under the circumstances, but they have to have the right tools to do the job. They have to have the right direction and leadership to do the job. And that's not what happened at Gallatin. In fact, just the opposite. Management failed to do its job. And that's why you have the outbreak there that you do.
Clint, one thing that I've learned from you over the years coming on, and I really have learned so much from you. You're just an incredible resource. You get a front row seat for a lot of this stuff, be it hospitals for surgeries and things like this. I'm just wondering, as someone sitting at home, and I am myself with a couple of parents that I think are in a very nice facility in Boise, Idaho, concerned about their well-being, and maybe someone wondering, all right, Clint, tell me, based on what you know, or if this was your father you had to place into a facility, what going in do you need to look for to try to know whether or not you're going to have a mess like what we had in Gallatin, or a place that's going to hopefully, have a different result?
That's a great question. And let me tell you what my opinion is on this. First and foremost, word of mouth is always the best gauge for determining where to place your loved one in a nursing home. Number two, believe it or not, you can go to the Centers for Medicare, it's online, and you can look for each facility to see how many times in each federal inspection has that facility been written up or fined, which, for example, Gallatin was. You can also go to the state of Tennessee. They do their own inspections of facilities. You can look and see what the results of those inspections are. And I'll tell you what, Nick, if you fail a state inspection, you're really bad, because unlike the federal government, the state tells you when they're coming and what time they're coming.
Wow.
So you can prepare and clean up things. Yeah. But to me, the inspections from the governments and word of mouth are the two best indicators for deciding where to put your loved one, which is going to be one of the most important decisions you and I and everyone else are ever going to make in our lives.
I know, exactly. Word of mouth. Do you know, do most states still have ombudsman? I know there is an ombudsman office in Idaho, which I've dealt with at times, and they've been kind of a clearinghouse. And I don't know, I know you're familiar with that term. Maybe you can clarify for our viewers what that is and if they can, in your opinion, serve a purpose, or if you think that they maybe are sometimes taking one side or the other.
Yeah. Yes, Tennessee does have an ombudsman. The best way I know to describe that person, they're like a liaison between the government agency that oversees the nursing home and the public. Someone that you can go through if you need to try to find out answers to questions involving the nursing home, who can also help you through issues that you might be having. Say someone dies there and you need some help in terms of funeral plans, or you need help in investigating an incident. I just feel like the problem here in Tennessee is the Department of Health is just a little too cozy with the nursing homes. You know what I mean? And I'm going to leave it at that.
We do know that this facility that you're suing currently has patients back in. There was some controversy initially when they brought them back in, but do you get the sense, based on what you're hearing from folks there now, that it is up and running again and maybe doing a better job of things right now? And by the way, on the other hand, too, I can just imagine if I had a loved one at a facility like this that was going through what it was and they were removed, I would have done everything in my power that once my loved one's done in the hospital, that they're going someplace else. This just tells me sometimes just how much of a shortage there are of beds available. You know, if you're just going to send your loved one back to a place that was just evacuated for this problem. I'm wondering about that.
Well, let me unpack that quickly because I know we're getting short on time. First of all, this nursing home is still having problems. Like Jennifer reported last week, there were 6 additional positive cases there. So they're still getting patients exposed and getting sick there. Secondly, they were cited by the Tennessee version of OSHA for failing to report that some of their employees had to go to the hospital and get tested for COVID-19. So not only are they getting people sick, they're failing to report to the government as they're supposed to. So that nursing home still has problems. The bigger question you're raising is, what are the alternatives?
Yeah.
Because some of the residents had to go back there because there was no alternative. They can't afford to put them somewhere else. And to that, I don't have a good answer other than you just have to save your coins, be smart, and find the best places you can put somebody. And if you have doubt where your loved one is, you may have to pay a private nurse or someone else to go up there regularly to ensure they're getting the attention that they deserve.
I'll tell you what, I mean, you are so right. And I think of the facility my folks are at in Boise, Idaho, and my brother lives there. We didn't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I've been monitoring it since. I mean, when they went in there, we had no idea a pandemic was coming. And I had no idea, frankly, Clint, having not checked some of those websites you just told us about, whether or not this facility had a bad history or not. Knock on wood, to this point, they haven't had a problem. And I think they've proven themselves to be good. But sometimes you just don't know. And you're right, too. You know, would you agree that in a lot of these facilities, if you have family members that visit and the staff and people know that they have caring family that are very engaged, that probably improves the chances that your family members are going to get where they need. Whereas if there's some poor individual that has no one and is just there by themselves and maybe is even on Medicare, you know, you just wonder what kind of care they get.
True words indeed.
You know, I mean, that's the concern. Remind Clint, if you would, where you're at, and especially if someone's watching today that think they may have a potential case along these lines.
Yeah, we're part of the Kelly firm. The office is located in Hendersonville, but we take medical malpractice cases throughout the state. And I've had cases in Memphis, Knoxville, all over, because we're a small group of lawyers. There aren't many lawyers that handle medical malpractice cases. And of course, part of that is nursing home litigation and hospital cases where patients or die as a result of medical neglect. The call is free. Call my office. You'll probably speak to Michelle. She gets the information that I need to make the decision whether I think the case warrants further investigation. If I do, I'll be the one calling you. And if I like your case, I'll take it. You don't pay a penny unless I recover money for you. I mean, patients go through enough already without having to pay money out of their pocket for legal representation. And in case anyone had any doubt, I love what I do because I think I'm helping people, and I believe in many cases I'm making positive changes at these facilities. We're going to change how they do business at Gallatin. It's going to take some time and some effort, and there'll probably be some checks written, but we're going to change how they do business at that nursing home.
And real quick, one of the things about there's no money up front from your clients unless, the case, concludes, and then you get a share of whatever the award is. But are you going to be hiring some experts for this case? I'm just curious, what kind of folks will you have hiring to test or to at least testify about whether or not this was standard of care?
I've already done that. Both a registered nurse, a nursing assistant, and an infectious disease doctor blessed the complaint, if you will, before I filed it. They confirmed the allegations, confirmed the claims, and that'll happen with every case that I file.
Well, you can bet we'll be following, and I know Jennifer Krause will be very closely involved following the case as it moves forward, and we'll look to see how the facility itself wants to respond to the lawsuit. One last thing as I leave you. Important little thing to remember when you're thinking about filing a malpractice claim. There is a statute of limitations, Clint. Let's remind folks again.
Yes, and every time, please everyone remember, you've only got 1 year from the date that you discover the wrongdoing to file your claim. Do not wait. I've had cases where people were injured badly, needed to go to court, but they just waited too long for a variety of reasons. And I had to tell them, I'm sorry, but you got no case. If you think you've been harmed or a loved one's been harmed through medical neglect in a hospital or a nursing home or at a clinic, don't wait 1 day. Pick up the phone and call. It's free, it's confidential, and it may make the biggest difference in your life because you're going to need help.
Excellent. The point being there, folks, as strong as you think, as you've heard us talk about this during the program here, Clint's case is right now moving forward, and it will end up in court. As strong as that is, had the family come to him at this time next year, there wouldn't be a darn thing they could do. So take note of that 1 year statute of limitations. Clint, thanks so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it, my friend. It's good to see you and wish you well. Keep us up to speed, and Jennifer as well, on how things shake out. And we'll see you in a month, all right?
I will do that. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks much. Okay, folks, we'll take a break. Programming note, and I'll give you that contact information for Clint Kelly one more time right after this.